Hey lovelies, I am here on a beautiful sunny day. I've got the window open. We're gonna hear the birds and all the other things, but I am feeling like summer is, it's technically not here, but it's starting to feel like it's actually going to come. And I thought, what better way to celebrate that than to talk about some summer eyeshadow palettes. I have a dozen here to talk to you about, and just like my spring eyeshadow palette picks, this is a bit of a mix of palettes that I've definitely used and loved for the season, but also I rooted through and wanted to find some to A, remind myself to use, and also B, see if they are worth keeping around. So I think this is gonna be a good little hodgepodge of eyeshadow palettes. And if we haven't met before, my name is Kelly and I'm a professional hair and makeup artist. And here on my channel, I strive to keep beauty real. Real honest, real relatable, and real fun. So if that sounds like something you'd enjoy, don't forget to click subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on future videos. All right, 12 palettes. I'm gonna try to keep it somewhat brief. Let's go ahead and start with the one that I'm wearing right now. Now, I have a feeling maybe a couple of these will be unexpected. A couple of these will probably be unexpected. I do also want to say that, in all honesty, probably half of these you can't get anymore. And I actually wanted to do that because I'm sure, like me, you have quite a few palettes in your collection that you can't get anymore. And I feel like a lot of these like top rankings videos, they tend to be only things that you can buy right now, like the new. And I have a little bit of new in here, but I also have quite a bit that maybe I probably shouldn't even be showing you because it's embarrassingly old. Perhaps this one right here might be one of them. This one that I have in my eyes today. This is a good way to start. Okay, so this is probably a little bit unexpected for a spring palette, but this is the Too Faced Chocolate Gold palette. Now, I really don't have many Too Faced palettes in my collection anymore. This might be the only one. I cannot remember what I did in my eyeshadow palette declutter videos. By the way, I will have those linked down below and my spring picks in case you want to see those, but I cannot remember. I don't think much made it through, y'all. I don't think much made it through. This one did. I love her. I mean, it's been a while since I've used it, but when I pulled it out today, first of all, I just, there's something nostalgic in that Too Faced chocolate scent. I like it. I know a lot of people loathe it, but I actually like it. So the thing about this is it does have a lot of neutrals, which I am here for these days. I just want something that's easy to whisk on, something that's just gonna be a no-brainer. But I do like having a couple pops of color. Today I have on this shade Classy and Sassy, and then I have the green shade, oh no, yes, that's right, Classy and Sassy, and then I have Moneybags, which is the green shade on my lower lash line, and then just a bit of thin brown liner on the top. And let's see, I only used the one matte, so this So Bougie. That is one thing about this palette is you basically have 4 mattes. You have a black-ish, you have a medium brown, a light brown, and then like a bone color. So there's not a lot of mattes in here, but you absolutely could take some mattes that you love. I have a palette here that I will show you that I could absolutely like put these together as one super palette. And then also you could pop these shimmers with something that you already know and love. I just need to see if this still performs the way that I enjoyed it. You know, since purchasing this palette, I've of course found many brands, many formulas that I absolutely love, and I just need to decide if this is one that's worth keeping around. So that's gonna be what I do. So I just wanna swatch a couple of these other shades. Let's go into New Money. That's this little pink moment in here. I tell you what, this Drip and Diamonds, the silver in here, looks like I've barely used it, and I'll be honest, that's probably gonna stay the same because I am not a blue silver kind of person, but I feel like these shadows, I mean, they still feel pretty good. So definitely, I mean, that right there, that's a summer moment. So I think for me, this is gonna be a palette that I pull out when I'm looking for just an easy, effortless eye shape, a bit of shimmer, and maybe a pop of color. So we're gonna put this one to the side. The palette that I was talking about having as a possibility to pair with that one, if I did want more mattes, is the Baked Browns from Dose of Colors. I think you can still get these. And if you can, highly recommend. I actually really love, I've talked about these before, but I love the Dose of Colors mattes. These are 5 beautiful, what I would say are warm, reddish based browns. You know, like warm, but not in an orangey sense, more in like that like red undertone. I just absolutely love this little palette. So if you have this one, remember to bring it out. I mean, if you're just looking for a beautiful matte look, you could absolutely create that with this, but you could always pair it with another palette as well. I mean, a hot summer night and just having this beautiful, like rich shade on. Oh, I mean, look at that. That to me, so yummy. Ready for it. Cannot wait to use this one. Okay, so I have two palettes from one brand. One of these palettes I have talked about before in my summer picks, I am sure, but I still love it and I know that I'm going to use it, so I couldn't not put it in this one. It's Citronata from Glam Shop, y'all. It's yellow. It's yellow. But it's more than just yellow. I mean, you have that beautiful, more orangey tone. This is actually a really fun shade. So this actually kind of reminds me of something in the Yucca palette from Natasha Denona. So you definitely have some of those like earthy golden vibes that you get in the Natasha Denona. Yeah, I need to just like take this and swatch it next to this just out of curiosity. Oh, it's not quite as bright. So the brighter one is the Natasha Denona, but look at that, kind of similar. So love this palette. I mean, it is definitely more of a monochromatic vibe. So I think that, you know, if you're into that, which I am, especially in the summer when I want something easy, yellow always makes me happy. I knew I had to pull this one in here. Like I said, I've talked about it before. One that I am sure that I haven't talked about for a summer palette, I think a lot of people think about this in the fall, but this color story I think about when I am maybe feeling a little moody. I want a little color, but I don't want it to be too bright. It's the Glam Shop Camo Palette. So here in Polish, it's Glam, oh geez, Wmoro? Wmoro? I have no idea. I'm just gonna butcher that. It's known as the Camo Palette. So this color story is your earthy greens, but look at this color right here. This is one of their, they called this marble. So this is a marble shadow. You actually have two marble shadows in here, I think, but you just have some fun color. Of course, you know, I think that the mattes, these mattes aren't everybody's favorite. I actually don't mind them. I find them to be pigmented. They are pretty powdery and a little bit loose. So I tend to not travel with my Glam Shop just because I'm worried that they're going to break. But look, I mean, look at that. I'm telling you, those marble shadows, they're a pain in the butt to apply because they're kind of flaky, but like moist flaky, but so pretty. Again, another like kind of sheer based, beautiful multi-chrome. Oh, so good. So absolutely gonna pull this one out. Like I said, when I am ready for like bog witch summer, it's gonna be the vibe. I'm gonna pull out this palette. So I had to pull out those two from Glam Shop. Okay, so let's pull out another one. You know, we're going from bog witch into super tropical vibes. This one is honestly a palette that I need to pull out to see if it's just worth keeping in my collection anymore. I enjoyed using it. I just haven't used it in a while, and it's the Ace Beauté Nostalgia Palette. I'm sorry, it's a racket out there. So this, I believe, is the original Ace Beauté formula. I know that they reformulated. I honestly don't remember, but I mean, it's beautiful. It's like total hot tropical summer vibes here. I just can't remember the last time I reached for it. This palette only has 3 shimmers to it. And one of them I haven't even used, so I'm definitely gonna have to do that. What is this fun shade here? Okay, speaking of, y'all, I just put my finger over it and now I feel like I need to go wash my hands. Ugh. So I'm gonna wait for it to focus. I don't know if it's actually going to focus. I have this like white flecky stuff over the top of these shimmers. I'm wondering, is that moldy? It's over the top of 2 of them. Okay, I'm gonna have to do some research, but that already makes me think it's time for this palette to go. This is what happens when we're filming. Am I going to keep this in this video? Yes, I am. Ooh, okay. We're gonna set this one to the side. Okay, yeah, so I looked up a few things on the interwebs, talked to a couple friends, Pretty sure this is mold in this palette. Declutter. And you know what? I guess, like I said, this was to see about decluttering some palettes potentially. This one's going. Okay, so now we have 11 palettes. All right, I wanted to pull this palette out because it does have a good pop of color in it. When I bought it, I was excited. I got a great deal on it, but I was excited to grab it, but I just didn't reach for it a lot, and I feel like it's because it's a 9-pan palette. I tend to be someone who wants more options, but I feel like now, you know, my aesthetic getting a little bit more simplified, especially for this season, I feel like this is going to be a great palette to pull out. This is Where the Wild Things Grow from Sydney Grace. Now, my palette here, there is a little bit of haze over a couple of the shades because my Buttercup shade busted. They did send me a replacement, and I'm just like, I'm living with this one right now because it's still in really great shape. So I had to like wipe off the Buttercup off of a few of these shades. But look at this beautiful palette. You've got some nice neutrals, you've got some warm tones, we've got some cool tones, some good colors. I just need to use this more. I absolutely need to use this more. So that's the plan. If you have it, you should use it too. Now, speaking of little palettes, I pulled this one out to focus on this summer, and this is, I think this is the most recent palette I have actually purchased. I've gotten some in PR, but I think this is the one that I have purchased and I have not given enough love. And this is the Terra Moon's Lovers on the Sun palette. I mean, it's a great summer color story, right? Like, I definitely need to use this more. I did do a video on this palette if you do want to see it, but I just need to utilize this palette more. So what better way than to sit it out here? And that's what I do, by the way, for those of you that are new. I take my seasonal picks and pop them out right here so that I can look at them and be like, okay, that's the palette I'm going to use today. All right, we're on the small palette, so let's just keep going. This is one that was sent to me recently. I absolutely love it. It is the Nomad Abu Dhabi palette. This is from the Nomad Air Travel set. I really enjoyed all three of the new palettes, but I know that this is one that I will reach for this summer. I mean, you know, we've got some warm rosy tones. We've got some warm coppery tones. Quick, easy grab and go. I do also think that very easily you could pair this with another palette. And of course, it's meant to be a travel palette, so I can absolutely travel with this. And if I'm gone for 1 or 2 days, this is enough. I could absolutely make this work. So we're going to celebrate this one this summer. Another one that was sent to me last year at some point is the Alter Ego Midsummer. So obviously the name of it, just had to pull it out, but this is actually a softer, more refined color story. Now, this is very clearly inspired by Anastasia Beverly Hills. I absolutely love this palette, and I know Alter Ego is sort of hit or miss for some people. Everything that I've tried has been a hit. Now, I don't think that you're gonna get formula dupes out of any of these Alter Ego palettes. Like, I highly doubt that, but you do get some beautiful color stories, and that's what I'm here for. I've enjoyed this palette. Again, it's just that like soft, kind of like romantic vibe. You have some beautiful, more like neutrally shades. Even the greens in here lean a little bit into neutrals. Now, I'll be honest, this purple shade in here, and I know that Alter Ego didn't create this color story. This is just sort of like a what? But I have yet to try this one out, so maybe that should be the challenge, is to use this shade this summer, because I could see it was a little bit of tan, have a little lavender moment. I'm excited to pull this one out and use it. I really have enjoyed it. This one is one that I've had in my collection for a while. I used it quite a bit when I first got it. I don't think I got it right when it came out, but perhaps. Gosh, it's been a while. But it's been neglected, and I really need to use it. It is Natasha Denona Sunrise, and I think this is a great color story for summer. I mean, we've got just enough color. We've got some warm tones. We've got a yellow. We have a couple more like berry shades. It's just pretty. It's just one of those pretty palettes. I need to get some use out of this one, and I'm really excited to be able to feature it out here and actually touch it more. So this little baby is honestly similar to a couple of the other color stories we have in here, but it has a bit more range of color. This is the Lisa Eldridge Cinnabar palette. This I just think is, again, it's an epitome of basic, easy to use, warm, slightly coppery shades. Honestly, this is sort of like taking some of the vibes of this and some of the vibes of that Baked Browns from Dose of Colors Clearly, I'm having a moment of wanting some warm neutrals this summer. It's sort of basic bitch. Maybe that's my new vibe, I don't know. Now, I will be honest, what I truly love about this palette is the beautiful, luscious, blendable mattes. I have just really been enjoying a good matte experience, sometimes with a bit of shimmer. I have actually, I don't know who I am, but I have been wearing some matte eyeshadow looks recently and really enjoying it. And the Lisa Eldridge formulas did not let me down. So I will, of course, enjoy these beautiful shimmers as well, but the mattes are what's really exciting me for summer. Okay, this one, this might have been in my summer picks last year. I'm not gonna lie, because I think that that is when it came out, so it was on my radar, but I have not really been using it enough. Okavango Safari from Nomad Cosmetics. This one was sent to me as well, and this is just, it's absolutely one of my favorite Nomad palettes. I mean, we've got some beautiful earthy greens, we've got some nice warm shades, we've got some beautiful neutrals. What else would I ask for? I mean, I would say a rose gold, but this is almost there. It's not really a rose gold, but it's close enough for me to not even need that in the list. I probably wouldn't mind popping this one out and putting a different color in it just because silver is not really my jam, but yeah, I love this palette. Oh, I am just realizing I really have not been swatching many of these palettes, but since these have all really kind of been around for a while, you have probably seen most of them. So sorry about that. I know sometimes people love a good swatch moment. I think the moldy eyeshadow palette just threw me off, and then I was sort of hesitant to touch anything. And you know, this palette, that Ace Beauté palette, I hadn't even used that shade, that shimmer shade that was the most moldy, had not had me touch it ever, so it's clearly not like cross-contamination. Okay, let's not talk about that. Let's end on a high note. Okay, so what I want to know is, what palette are you totally going to be reaching for this summer? I am definitely planning on creating a couple of my own BYOPs as well. Of course, my friend Kara and I have our BYOP series. We always share those videos on the last Thursday of the month, so make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss out on those. But I definitely want to do a couple standalone single eyeshadow palettes for summer because I just haven't been reaching into my singles enough. I haven't been doing a ton of elaborate eye looks really recently. Like, honestly, this look with the like green lash line is probably the most elaborate I've been for a while. It's been crazy busy and eyeshadow just hasn't been a priority, but I'd really like to dip my fingers into some fun sparkly shades. All right, lovelies, it's been fun getting to talk about these eyeshadow palettes with you. Do you have any of these? Have you forgotten about any of these in your collection? If you have, let me know down below. We can root each other on to use them this summer together. Thank you so much, and I will see you really soon.